Good morning. Okay, so today is Perek Zayim Malachim Beis. Today is November 25th, Tuesday. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the tremendous hunger in the Shomron. Yesterday was the hunger. It was so bad that the people, Nashim, were eating their children. It was at the highest level. Now, just remind you what's going on. So, what happens is Aram from the east goes ahead and makes a siege on the Shomron. And right now the siege is it's the 7th year of the siege, and it's a tremendous hunger. And Yehuda, who's the Melech, he passes by the walls of Shomron and he sees a lady and she says, "What's going on?" And she says, what's happening over here is I made a deal with another lady. I said that yesterday you're going to eat my child, today you're going to eat your child. And she says, "What should I do?" But this woman, she hit her child. So now when Yehuda hears about this, he was the Melech. He ripped his clothing. He put on sackcloth. The pasuk says, and he said, "I'm getting Elisha." That's it. He's the only person that can stop this. So what we left off yesterday, then he goes to Elisha, and he says, "Ma'achal Hashem, what should I do? It's getting really bad." So now, Perek Zayim pasuk out. Fine. V'yom Elisha. So Elisha says, "Shmuna d'var Hashem." I'm telling you the words of Hashem. Kaya mar Hashem case machar. Hashem says tomorrow at this time, saw silos b'shekel to Sarim shekel b'shar Shomron. He says like this: until now, it was 80 shekel for a donkey's head, which nobody even eats. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's like nuts. He said tomorrow the price is gone down so cheap. Tomorrow you're gonna have flour at the gates of the Shomron for 1 shekel. For silos and Sarim, which is normally more expensive. Right. He's saying overnight. This happened really quick. It's gonna be saw is gonna be for a shekel, and Sarim is gonna be for 2 shekel. It'll be for 1 shekel. And we're right here at the same spot, right at this spot at the Shar Shomron. So that's what the Navi Elisha says. Pasuk Beva Yana Shalish Shalamelch. Now, when that happens, the general who was like standing next to him, Yehuda, the person that was his person that he leaned on, the Melech, he tells Elisha, he says, "Hinei Hashem Isa Ruba Shemayim Heya Davar Zeh." He says the only way this is going to happen is if Hashem makes windows in the sky. In other words, there's no chance this is going to happen. He made fun of the word of Elisha. Okay, Vayomer. Elisha says, "You'll see Nachar Roya Beinecha." He said, since he made fun, he says, what's going to happen? He says, you're going to see the price come down. But you, since you made fun of the Navi, you made fun of Elisha, you're not going to be Zaycha to eat from it. It's going to happen tomorrow. Right now, and it was so not to be believed that what he said, but you never questioned the words of Navi, and he did. And we'll see what happens to him. Okay. Now, Zok Pasuk Gimel. There were 4 people that were there metzora'im, and they were Pesach Hashar, and they were the entrance to the Shar Shomron. And these 4 people said to each other, why are we here till we die? Now, who are these 4 people? Zok Rashi, the Medrash brings down was Gechazi Abana. So Gechazi and his children, they were on the gates of the Shomron, and they were outside because they were metzora'im. Like we said earlier, the Gechazi got the Tzaras of Naman, so they were by the Pesach Hashar because they couldn't go inside, and they were sitting outside. They're like, what are we doing here? They basically said to each other, look, right now there's a siege on the Shomron, we're outside. If we stand here, we're going to die. Let's maybe go to Aram, and maybe they'll have Rahmanas on us. Now, why did Aram kill them? And just why did they kill them? The reason is because Aram, no one's interested in people that have leprosy. They can stay outside all they want. They're unwanted people. So Aram didn't want to touch them, but they couldn't go in. So that's why these people were not killed. Now, why Gechazi Banov? We'll see maybe why Gechazi was Zaycha to such a thing. Maybe we'll get maybe a shot on that. Oh, because they were never in the city, because they had Tzaras, and Tzaras said the Pesach Hashar outside the city. They let them out. They never went in. They were not in the Pesach Hashar. I just want to point out one thing. Let's share a little bit on this. Is just we have actually 2 minutes. I'll just say something interesting. Normally, Metzorah has to go out of all the machnas. Metzorah has to go out of Machna Shechina, Machna Levi, and Machna Yisrael. The question is, that's very nice, but over here, why in the Shomron? In the Shomron, you don't have to go outside the city. That's the only halacha in right? But Machna Levi, that's not in the city of the Shomron. So one shot is, it's only if the city is a walled city by the time Yeshua. Gechazi and his children, they got the Tzaras of Naman. So they were Metzorah, and they couldn't be in the city. So they were outside the city while there was a siege around the city. So this halacha that Metzorah has to be outside the Machna Levi and Shechina and Yisrael it's two things. That's only for a city that's ruled at the time Yeshua ben Nun. The problem is that his grandfather is the one who built up the city of the Shomron. So it wasn't a walled city at the time Yeshua ben Nun, right? So the answer they say is that the Shomron always had a wall, a little wall. He went ahead. Omri, who's famous. The reason why Omri, we said earlier, was Zoichet to have his children Achav and have Yehoram, to have Zoichet to be able to be. The reason why they were Zoichet to have the longevity in the Malachim, we said because they built up the city of Shomron, which means they built the wall. The answer is no. They expanded the wall that was already there, and therefore there was a walled city from Shubana, and therefore there's a halacha of Saras. That's one shot. The other shot is that they davened that the Shomron should have the same status as Yerushalayim, but it really didn't have it. But because of that, they stayed outside. But really, they didn't have to stay outside. Is it Arsamechan? We'll talk about if we have a minute. We'll talk about the Arsamechan. This we'll again in a few minutes. What?
They want to stay away from people because they're at Saras.
Right, but that's this idea of a Saras being outside the city is only true if the city is a walled city by the time of Yeshua ben Nun. And the Shomron we know wasn't, because Omri, the great grandfather, he's the one who had built up the city. So they could have went in. So why didn't they go in? Right? The answer is it was a wall, just that the wall was small, and Omri expanded the wall. Whatever, the Farshim to tell on this. Fine. Let's go back to it. So basically what happened to these four people, Kechas and his children, they're like, well, what are we doing out here? We're going to die. Let's go ahead and let's go to the enemy, and maybe the enemy will have Chmanas on us poor leopard people. Okay. Pazida. He said like this: if we go ahead inside the coming to the city, we're going to die of the famine inside the city. Meaning, we'll go in the city, but we'll die. If we stay outside the city, we'll die. So let's now. Let's go to where Aram. If they let us live, great. Listen, if they let us live, great. If not, we have nothing to lose. Let's just go, right? Okay. Beneshef. So now they decided at dusk, early morning, they decided they're going to go to Aram. Okay? Again, it's not Aram. They're going to go outside the siege, outside where Aram was camping out near the Shomron. Okay. They go to Lamach Aram, but they go to the edge. They go there, there's no one there. The whole army of Aram was supposed to be there, they're all gone. What happens? Hashem caused that the Macharam should hear kol rechav kol sus. All of a sudden, the people around they heard. It's saying why was it empty? Because they heard chariots, they heard horses, the kol chayil giba. They heard great army sounds. They heard sounds of war. So each person around said to each other. They said, It must be that the king of Israel went ahead and made some sort of he hired Malachim metzora'im. The people it must be that Malachim Yisrael went ahead to the north to the Chitim, went to metzora'im to the south. They must have made some sort of pact together, love Elena, and attack us. Because we see Klai Yisrael is not attacking, but we hear noises. So it must be that we're being attacked. Now, why would they even think that? So the pshat is because we said earlier, I don't know if you remember a few days ago, we had that Edom made a pact with Yisrael and Yehuda. So the concept of making a pact was there. So right, Edom and Yehuda made a pact to fight Moav. So now we're saying maybe Chitim and metzora'im made a pact maybe to go attack us Aram. Okay. Right. Okay. Very good. I'm Malik. Maybe let's chai kol sham. Very good. So okay. So and they're saying maybe they got up. So they got up and they quickly and they thought they made a attack. So they went and they left the tents and the horses, the chamarayim, and they ran for their lives. So they heard noises, they heard sounds. This is the first time I believe in Nach you have such a concept that sounds that show up. Like during the I think it was the war of 1948. The famous stories. People hear they say stories that all these sounds and the Arabs just kept running. No, but there by Gideon we actually had by Gideon in the middle of the night when they went down to attack Midian. Over there we said that there was really noises. It might have been that there was less and they made it sound more. It could be, but no. It says Kol Gadol Machane over there. But there they put the pictures with the fires. There they were, and they smashed it even, so they made noises. Okay, maybe it was a nation that happened more, but here the first concept that just like randomly new sounds and everyone's just running for their lives. So Aram is running away. So now these metzora'im, they hang at the edge because they're afraid maybe just in case they didn't go in yet. So they go into the first tent and they see there's no one here. So again, they come in. Just understand, there's a big siege on Shomron, right? And Aram is not holding the siege, and then these people go into enemy territory and they see there's no one there. So they say, let's go, let's eat. He ate, he drank. He takes some clothing, silver, gold, and he takes and he hides it. And then they go to the next tent, and it's empty, no one there. They see Hashem, and they go and they have also and they go ahead and they hide it to it. So they're kind of looting the tents. And then, who else is better to take money and things other than Gehazi himself, right? He's the king of this, right? He's the Gabbai, right? We said Gehazi is the guy who loved the money. Anyways, but then now Gehazi, and he said to his son, his kid, he says, what we're doing is not good. Why? He says, today the news is going to come. If we stay and we're quiet, we don't talk about it, we wait till the morning, and then we're going to be sitting as if we did bad. Why? Because what happens is the whole city is starving, and we're sitting there, and we're taking stuff, we're hiding, we're drinking, we're partying. Let's quickly go back to the city, tell the news. If we wait till the morning, we're going to be in trouble for what we did. Let's quickly go. Now, they didn't have a mind for themselves. They only did have a mind. They only had a mind for themselves. They didn't have a mind for the klal. If they would have, it's brought down, the first bring down. If they would have had a mind for the klal, then it can't be. Why? Because if it would be, then it wouldn't be that Gehazi lost his Elam Haba. It just wouldn't be. Such a person who goes ahead and has a mind for the klal wouldn't get to that punishment. So it must be that he had a mind himself. Anyways, they say, let's go. Let's quickly tell the Melech, let's tell them what's going on over here. Let's tell them that the enemy ran away. They go and they call a shower here. They went to the shower again. Why the shower? They couldn't go in. Why couldn't they go in? Because they were metzora'im. And they told them, Aram. We went. They told people they were by the shower. We went to Aram. There's no one there. They call Adam Ki'im Sus Aser. It's just the horses that tie the Chamar Aser, and the horses literally everything is still there. And the tents were in other words as they are. In other words, as is exactly. So the people at the gate, they told the inner circle of the king, and then they told Naaman that what? They're like, listen, everyone ran away. The king got up middle of the night. He says, I'll tell you what's going on. It's not. He says he's scared of a trap. He's scared that what's going to happen. They may believe as if they ran away. We'll come to get the food, and then they'll attack us in the fields. That's what he says. So he says it's a trap for exactly an ambush. They know we're starving. It's all and we'll leave the camp. And they're going to hide in the field. They'll say, when we go out to the fields, when they go out to the fields, we'll be able to grab them alive because they'll go out to our camps, and then we'll go attack them. And then we'll come to the city. Okay, and then we'll be able to attack. We'll have to go to the city of Shomron. So now one of the servants said, look, let's see. Let's take Chamisha Menasusim Nisham. We have right now in the Shomron 5 horses left. Let's go take the horses and let's check it out. He might be right. It might be an ambush situation. However, at this point, you have nothing to lose. So they said, let's take for one of the 5 horses. Asher Nisharuba. That's left over in the Shomron. Pretty much all the animals are dead already. Just a couple of horses left. And let's. He said, if not, well, they said that it's like the rest of. It's a halal hapas is really saying it's like the rest of Klal Yisrael who's Ashanishuba that are left in the city. In other words, these horses are going to be dead by tomorrow if we don't go. So they'll be the same state of these horses. Will be the same state of us Klal Yisrael. That these horses will be like the rest of Klal Yisrael that's left over. And these horses will be at the same state of Klal Yisrael that died. So the Shachul will let's send these horses out and we'll see why not. Okay. So they took 2 of the horses. They said, let's just take 2. They took 2 horses. So they took these 2 horses and they went towards Macharam, and they said, okay, let's see. Let's go. So now they go towards the Yarden. Understand why the Yarden? If you know the map, we have Shomron, and now Aram is around on a siege, and then further east is the Yarden. So they went they went to Aram, and they went all the way toward the Yarden. And the entire area was full. Begodim, Kalim, Ashachich, Aram. They just threw it. They ran. They heard noises. They ran. Shalchich Aram Chavzam in their quick haste to leave. So now the messengers that came back to the king, they told them, they said, now we'll see the nevuah of Elisha come true. He said, the people went out, and they looted the entire Aram, and they said, now that it happened, saw sales b'shekel, the flour was so cheap, there was so much abundance of food from the whole Aram. What happens? Saw sales with a shekel, society shekel, because Hashem, just like the words of Elisha came true. Now the price dropped drastically. There's so much food. Now what happened? Now it was like riots going on. So the Melech, he points to the Shar. He points the Shlish to the Melech is Yehoram. He appoints his officer. He says, the person he relied on, his main guy, Elisha, he says, you stay at the gate just to control the gate, to avoid riots. And what happened? The avoided stampede. And what happened? The Shlish, he got trampled and he died. And this is part of the nevuah. What did Elisha say? He said that you are going to see it, but you're not going to eat from it. And this guy is standing by the thing and he's trying to control traffic and people just ran him over. And he dies. And that's the Mekayim nevuah of the Silas will be for a shekel, and that two society will be for a shekel, and he will be zeicha to eat from it. Okay? And let's just say, yeah. And it was like Hashatim bered is the Melech he loved. He Kedvar Ishal came, and now El Melech Lamar. It just repeats what happens. Then this is like he said that saw b'shekel yeh case macham Shomron. That will be that a soul will be for a shekel and a society will be for a shekel. But Yana Shlish and then when this story happened, the Shlish said, Elisha came Yomer. He said, if Hashem makes a ruba Shemayim yeh kadar azer. Yomer, and then Elisha said back to him, he's just repeating the story. You'll see it, but you won't eat from it. And that's what happened. And that's what happened. The words of nevuah of Elisha came true, and he got trampled at the gate, exactly like the words of the Navi. You never mess with the Navi, and that's what you learn from here. And tomorrow we do Perek.